Hi, my name is Hardo Kaurit. I am part of the tire mounting tool family here in Estonia. All racers. Our tools are also developed by racers for racers, so that's our slogan. And today I'm going to show you the original TMT tire mounting tool that was invented somewhat 15 years ago by my father, who was also a racer. And this one is going to be the full video about how to properly use the machine. I'm going to take it slow, so I'm going to share some tips and tricks how to make it very easy for you. So after having this tool, I assure you, you will never want to use any other one, and tire changing becomes much less of a hassle, sometimes even something you look up to. So here it is, and this is the box the machine comes in. It also has some brief introduction and assembly instructions. We also have a more detailed video on our YouTube channel, so check that out if you need any help. The machine comes with an aluminum sleeve, and together with the original axle, it works well for axles from 20 to 30 millimeters. And if you have some special axle sizes, we also have a product called Super Axle that enables this tool to be used from anything starting from 12 millimeters already. So today I'm gonna assemble a tire on a Yamaha YC 250F. So it's a 19-inch motocross tire, and it also has a 25 millimeter hub. So I will use the aluminum sleeve. I can insert it here. To use this tool, having any kind of a stand is help. I'm using the TMT6, but I'm not going to use any of the TMT6 special features here. So I want to solely focus on this tool here. And if you only have this one, how does it help you to mount a tire? First thing I want to do is I want to insert the pusher that is helping to push the bed over the rim. So this original one, it is good for 16 up to 21-inch wheels. We also have a shorter version available that's good from everything above 10. So to insert this one, it's very important that the machined part of the pinion, it's turned downwards, and then you insert the pusher from the same side as the handle. So this is very important. This way it's easy to move it while you are kind of using the tool, and once you engage it, so it starts pushing. So that's a small tip that we see people kind of doing wrong at times. Otherwise, I'm set up to mount a tire. I have air. I have also some tiny tools you can buy from our web shop. So this is to actually remove the air valve from the air tube. And this is a small tool called bed buddy that I'm going to show you in action. So I have a rim. I loosen the rim lock. So you wanna kind of unscrew the nut as much as possible without it coming off, so you have enough of play here. Another great tip using the TMT tool: always have the brake side up, because the rim actually isn't symmetric. So if you used it on the other side, one thing is that the sprocket is usually more dirty, and you can also hurt your hands while doing it, but it also sits higher compared to the edge of the rim. So you have a kind of, it can happen that once you push the tool wants to pop up. This does not happen normally once you turn it to the brake disc side of things. To mount a tire, the first thing you do, you just put it to stand here. So I usually use it just as like a table for myself, and I recommend you to, that's just my way of doing things. We've done changing tires in this motocross family for tens of years, that you use by putting just a tiny bit of air into the tube. So this is to make sure that it just holds its shape a little bit better. So it's basically empty, but you see it's just nice and round. Another thing we do is that we use a bit of baby powder to just make the air tube a little bit softer and more slippier. And they also tried it out so it doesn't get wet so easily, so it also doesn't stop rubbing inside a tire so easily, which just extends the lifetime of air tube, and it doesn't break so easily. So when you pumped a bit of air into the tube, you wanna insert it into the tire. So sometimes it can be a bit of a hassle. This one seems to go fairly well. Maybe like a tiny bit of less air than I did this time to help you. But you want to make sure that it's fully inserted so you have less risk of hurting the air tube while mounting the tire. So this one is nice. And the next thing you do is you take the tire, you locate your location for the air hose, air valve, and it's if you have multiple holes in the rim, I always recommend you using the rim lock and the air valve hole next to each other, because that makes it so much easier to mount a tire. A bit more advanced technique if you have to use dual rim locks, as some of the hard enduro riders and also sidecar motocross riders do, then we have a special tool available on how to make that less of a pain. So check that, look for that video on our channel as well. So the first thing I do, I locate the hole and I actually put it through it, and I use the TMT small helping tool. You can also use the original nut that comes together with the air tubes to just make sure it doesn't pop out. You don't have to do a lot. It's good if it moves, but you make sure that it doesn't come out, because if you already mounted the tire and you have to insert the air hose, it can be pretty tough. The next thing you do, you want to make sure that the lower part of the rim lock goes into the tire. You see, you want to make sure that the air tube is not between, and you push it in a bit. So this is what you want to achieve. So when you're in this position, it's still quite easy to turn the tire to make sure that this valve is straight, and if this is like that, then you are ready to mount a tire. So yeah, next up you see the magic tool in action. So you make sure that this is right. You can hold your body against it a bit if it wants to kind of come down. Now the next thing you do, you start using the tool. You hold the handlebar forward and you adjust it almost against the tire, and then you start engaging it. And once you push it, you see that it starts going over the edge. You don't have to use a lot of force. Usually if you have to use a lot of force, you're doing something wrong. At the same time, you want to make sure that you see here the tire already wants to pop in, but it's not possible to do two sides at the one time. So you pull it in to make sure that the wheel can really kind of go into the edge of the rim, the center of the rim, which is deeper. That allows the tire to move better. And then I continue bit by bit. And it's super simple. Again, you want to make sure that the tire is in the center of the rim, and you continue. And if you do it properly, the edge of this does not leave any scratches on the rim. And when you complete the first round, you see that the tire is now mounted on one side. So next thing, you have to also mount the other side of the tire. This is when the bed body comes in handy. And the important thing to do also is that you remember you have a rim lock, and to insert that, it's the easiest when you leave this spot, the very end, the very last part of the tire which you want to push over. To do this, I'm going to start from, let's say, 20 centimeters next to it, and I'm going to start the opposite direction while pushing it. So this is the rim lock, 20 centimeters this way. I'm going to start by pushing it over, and then to make sure that that it stays in this place, I'm going to insert the bed body here. That helps me that it stays this way, and I can now start moving forward. You also want to make sure that the tire goes into the center of the rim. So in cases like this, you want to push it in. So that makes it so much easier to do the full circles. And in most cases, you have to do it. Otherwise, it's almost impossible to mount a tire. So if you don't have the TMT tool, TMT6, which you're going to see in another video, you just use your hand and hopefully you're able to push it in. So in the end, it gets a little bit tougher, so you don't want to take too much at the same time. So you can go by like pushing every 10 millimeters. Again, make sure that the tire is nicely in the center. And so I'm now reaching the place where the rim lock is. So now it's very important that before pushing the very last bit over, I push it in. So I usually do it with one hand. I put my finger there, another finger on top of here, so I put it on, and now it's done. It goes in, and so nice. Now I remove the bed body, and we are basically done. So the tire is fully mounted. Now I have to put some air into the tire. This is of course very personal, how much pressure you want to go. It depends on the different machines and the tires. For motocross, I usually do like 1.0 to 1.2, and sometimes you also need to overinflate the tire when it looks like it doesn't jump onto the rim perfectly. So what we use is like a brake cleaner, liquid that evaporates quickly, but it still makes it a bit slippery. So I put it in between, and then if I reapply the pressure, the tire pops out better. No, now it's aligned perfectly. So I release some of the air. Like I said, I usually run like 1.1. Once that's done, then it's time to tighten the rim lock. We usually don't use a nut here, so that's because sometimes it can happen that the rim starts slipping inside the tire, and if you don't have a nut here on the plastic one, it is possible that it pulls it in, it starts going around a bit, but the air tube doesn't break, so it doesn't break it from here. So something maybe you can try. And for this I need a 12 millimeter wrench. So a 12 millimeter, I have the one with the ratchet, makes it a lot quicker. So you need not too much force, reasonably tighten it to make sure that the rim doesn't start slipping inside of the tire. And that's it. Now you can take the TMT tool out and you should be ready to hit the track. So thanks for watching. I hope it was helpful. Probably if you haven't done this before, it takes a bit of time to get used to, but yeah, once it's tiled, you don't have to worry about it anymore. You don't have to take your bike to a workshop to get a simple thing like changing a tire done. Thanks for watching. Follow us on YouTube and also have a look on the tiremountingtool.com website, where you can find the TMT tool, the big machine, which you can see from the other videos, or the small tools we use, like the air valve tool or the bed buddy. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.